Good afternoon, this is Joe Biondo, live at MODEX2026 with TJ Shelters from Concentric. He is SVP of Modex. TJ, how's it going today?
Good. As you can see, we're here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium with the Atlanta Falcons having a customer event.
So it's a nice event. We appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I wanted to just ask you a couple questions while we're here. So what are your customers saying is the single biggest pain point that they're bringing to you compared to 2 years ago?
So it's still, I'm going to say, operator compliance, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of technology out there, but people still have to interface with it. So how do you bring technology in and have your people adapt it? Because some of it hasn't solved the problem. So turnover is still high. Finding good employees is a challenge, and then the upcoming challenge is energy itself as new technologies come about. So everything automated is electrified. So energy resilience is becoming a huge topic of conversation.
So while we're not at the Modex floor right now, obviously we're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. With the time that you spent on the floor today, what would you say is one thing you saw that may have been unthinkable even 5 years ago?
Probably the humanoid robots. It's always been machines of some sort, but now how do you pick individual pallets? How do you deal in a complex environment? And I think the evolution of that's been kind of exciting to watch. I don't know if anything's deployed yet, but it seems to be coming.
As you're working with customers, what would you say is the biggest mistake that they make when deploying new technologies?
I would say getting a buying group together, right? So when you're deploying a technology, if you think of old school procurement, okay, you've got buyers that buy, they negotiate good prices, but then you have the physical facilities that may have to deal with those decisions. So in order to do it right, what we try to do is we try to get a buying group together for the customer. So it's the facility level people. How can we impact them? How do you input an ROI to upwards upstream? And then have kind of, I'll say, corporate buy-in. So if you don't look at that 360 project and impact, you tend to make some mistakes, right? I think a lot of people have deployed automation in the past, and it's not delivered what they thought because it's not been thought through. So I think if they can get a buying group together and really understand what the future means and how to be more productive, I think that's the biggest thing we see.
TJ, a lot of robots here on the floor, but these robots go nowhere without any power. Talk to me about Power Hive. How does that solve the classic forklift charging bottleneck that we hear about so much in the warehouses?
Absolutely, yeah. So the number one thing we found with the Hive is it does eliminate the bottleneck. Because no matter whether you do a one-to-one solution or a battery changing solution, you're still relying on your operators to comply. Plug in, do the right thing. With the Power Hive, it's simple. You stand on a pad, 2 minutes later you have power. It's changed the way that operators look at their shifts and break times. They don't have to worry about the power. We see at least 10% productivity savings and fleet reduction. We've had current customers at the show talking to prospects, highlighting these savings, hours gained back, reduction of fleet, and then flat out moving more product through the facilities.
Yeah, you talked about savings. You mentioned that Power Hive returns up to 80% of the space that's typically used for battery rooms. In an era where space is such a premium for warehouses, what do you find your customers are doing with all that extra room once the Hive is installed?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking at the Hive system behind me, and it doesn't get much bigger even fully deployed. We call this a cabinet. This is a single cabinet system. We have a dual cabinet system where it's side by side, and then a 3 cabinet system in a horseshoe. But it's under 700 square feet, and it'll power well over 100 trucks. I think our biggest deployments are around 180. So if you think about opportunity charging or battery changing, opportunity charging, you're still 5x9, 5x10, charger stand, pogo stick, got to back in and out. It's a lot of real estate. By shrinking that up, facilities actually weaponize the space. So more racking, more floor storage, more throughput, and think about inventory turns for the customer, right? If you get 6,000, 7,000 square feet back, that's a lot of money to them, and real estate is expensive. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, beyond the robotic swap, there's an AI layer here that's managing energy costs as well. How does Power Hive use that intelligent charging to protect facilities from peak demand charges and overall lowering the cost?
Great question. I'll just tell you a quick study we did. Customer had 168 trucks. They were looking at one-to-one lithium. If they were going to plug all those trucks in at the same time, it was going to be over 3.5 megawatts of power needed at that facility. They did not have the infrastructure to do so. The Power Hive system for that same fleet would have been just over a half a megawatt at any time. Because in the queue of batteries, we're not even charging all of them at the same time. We bring them up to 70% and hold. We have a queue of batteries that are ready to go. And then when a battery comes out, that 70 goes to 90, and then it holds. So All the spares aren't even charging at the same time. It also cycle counts on batteries. A 36-volt battery here, because of our cradle, goes in any 36-volt truck. So as you're rotating through fleet, you don't have high-use trucks burning up cycles, low-use trucks not. This kind of rotates your fleet for you.
Awesome. Now, one last thing. I saw you have a reload clock here going on. Tell me about that.
So it's something we've highlighted. This is our third show, and the big message here is it's not new anymore. So at ProMat last year, we celebrated 100,000 reloads.
Cool.
So 2 years of deployment, 100,000 reloads. 13 months later, we have 437 and change. So we've added 300 plus thousand reloads over the last year, thanks to our customer base trusting us and deploying it. So the system is working. It's deployable, and we talked about the AI. It's also managing the customer's fleet, right? We're taking the telematics. It's truck-based. So I'm just grateful that we came up with the idea, our guy Antonio, and had a great show. It's been a really, really good show for us.